So here is my workshop timeline. So anytime I am starting to create a PD, I like to kind of timeline myself out because then if I'm working with others, they know exactly what is kind of due, who's the owner, and what the task is. So you can kind of see here, I've just made a copy of a template, but right here, I first want to make sure the date is good. I might want to check the room if I'm at a different location. So I'm definitely just checking in with those teachers who need to be involved, maybe creating a list at this stage. Really depends on what the PD is. I like to add this little tracker to let me know, hey, this has not started, in progress, or hey, it's finished. Also, right here, you can see there are due dates. So these really help the owner or whoever's looking a part of planning this PD is able to see when is it due, what is the task, who do I need to contact if I am a part of that committee, or maybe there's multiple people that are owners. But really, that owner, if they're not responsible to do everything, they're just kind of checking in and kind of leading that piece of the PD. Then I like to create a folder for a lot of the workshops because there's usually multiple surveys, there's multiple links, there's multiple spreadsheets, whatever, slides. That way everybody has access. And then I just go up here and I will hyperlink it right into my spreadsheet. And then again, I can say when I'm finished with that or when I've not started, and then I can add a due date as well. Owner can add any additional notes if I need to. Then I like to create a prior knowledge survey. Again, it kind of depends on what the workshop is for. If you've been working with your teachers for some time, you might not need that piece. But again, I like to just kind of have that piece so that way, if it is a new group of teachers, I can add that in. If not, I can just delete this column or hide the column if that's not needed. And then just a reminder to send that out. And then a calendar invite. I like to invite all the educators that were kind of identified in this step one to a calendar so that way they know exactly where to go, the time for the meeting, and all of that. And they can kind of save that date on their calendar. Then any staff that did not maybe fill out that prior knowledge survey, I might follow up with them. Now, if it's anonymous, I might not. So again, this is kind of optional where I might take it out, and all of these can be added or taken away depending on what kind of PD you are doing. And then after that, I want to maybe review those results so that I can begin to plan what that day is going to look like. And then I might meet with the team again to go over those results, send an email reminder with the agenda, because hopefully looking over these results within about 7 days, I have time to create that workshop, attend the workshop, and then follow up email. And again, you could add or take away any of these different things. And then this second tab is just kind of a quick detail of, okay, this is how much time we have for this training, and let's go ahead and plan it out. So maybe the welcome's going to take this much time. I want the guests to do this before coming. I want them to have these materials, these activities throughout. So I'm able to kind of create and start to develop that plan with whoever's leading this session. And sometimes it might just be me, or sometimes it's a group of people. So again, depending on that is how I might use this tracker, or to remind myself, hey, this is not done. And I can add additional columns if I need to remind myself of different things. Or we use the comment tool a lot and tag each other. So those are those two tabs. And kind of where I started to develop this idea was from the PD book. And then I started to create kind of a PD hub. The PD book is amazing. So if you have not got it, I really highly suggest that you look into that. But this also has some long-term, short-term planning. So again, it depends on the workshop. It depends on how much notice I have beforehand, and what has not been planned yet. So I'll pull this up too and kind of look at it. And then I've also made different templates just to kind of help me remind myself, like, okay, I need to send an email. And then I just kind of customize the email template based on what my workshop needs. So if there's no pre-work, I might take that out. If they have to, if there's no meals, I might let them know that. But again, I have it all kind of laid out so it's all there for me. And then I can customize that bigger template to whatever workshop I'm doing. And then there's a short-term one, day of, closing one. And again, it kind of helps me with like email next steps. And again, I just customize it to that workshop, but I like to have a bigger chunk of language so that I can undo that. And then right here, I'm able to do a to-do list to kind of remind myself, what do I need that day for that training? Do I need a computer, my cords, my adapter? Do I need to have, whatever I need to make that list. So I like to have a packing list. And then here are just some agendas that I've used for different PDs. So I'm always trying to add to this list just to help me organize better. So if you have an idea, please send it my way so I can add it on. And then here are just some ideas for whole group, small group, and individual. I like to make my PDs interactive, so those can really help. And then when it comes to learning goals, I like to kind of think, okay, have I given clear directions? Is my material ready to go during the learning, after the learning? And again, this was kind of inspired by the PD book. So if you have not looked at that, you need to check that out. And then all of these different surveys. So sometimes I'll use a personality survey or a learner survey just to get to know my audience. I might use like a KWL chart or prior knowledge type thing. Check-ins, I like to use like on a scales, a square, circle, triangle, and then feedback from the session. So again, if you have resources that you would love to share back, I would really appreciate it, because this is, again, an ongoing working document that has really just helped me be more intentional about the PD that I'm offering to my staff.